I'm here with David of Signs of the Swarm to talk about their latest record, Amongst the Low and Empty, out July 28th on Century Media. How's it going? Thanks. First of all, thank you for taking the time. And second, how are things going with you?
Oh, I am doing great. And I just got to say thank you for having me. Just got done watching your reaction video of the review for Amongst the Low and Empty. Stellar shit, dude.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I promise you, this was not planned. I did not plan to post that before we were going to chat. I normally try to avoid that just in case I say something that could make the conversation a little awkward. So it wasn't planned. I appreciate you sharing it, and I appreciate you really enjoying it. It looks like you enjoyed my review as much as I enjoy listening to your album.
Yeah, honestly, I watch your stuff all the time.
Oh, great, man. I'm looking forward to. I know you guys are coming to play in Toronto, so
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
finally coming back to Canada, dude. It's been
Exactly,
since
exactly.
pre-pandemic, man.
Yeah, it's been a
It's been
long
so
time.
long.
It's been too long. So I'm definitely excited. I already marked it on my calendar. I'm definitely excited to see you guys play in Toronto. And but before we do that, let's talk about this album. So
Let's
when you
get
guys
to it.
start thinking about the record, like when you guys started thinking, okay, it's time to start put pen to paper, we got to work on a new album. Uh, how was that process for you, and how much did that process then becomes the influence that drives the sound experience that the album offers?
So, whenever we came to writing Amongst the Low and Empty, it was influenced by a line I wrote for Absolver in the song Dreamy Desecration. Um, it was a line referencing of what I was surrounded by in my past. And we wanted to take that energy and kind of move forward and kind of like talk about present time because a lot of the a lot of Absolver is a lot of present, past emotions, and Amongst Low and Empty is more present. Um, but whenever we actually put pen to paper for this record was actually in studio because we had such a busy tour schedule. We got some writing done, but we ended up throwing it all away and starting from scratch, taking advantage of working with Josh Schrader, um, our producer that orchestrated us and helped us to really break through that threshold and become bigger artists and better artists, um, very grateful for the experience though. It was a very high pressure, high stress environment, just like having booked studio time. You only have this much time, and we are making a product that's going to feed us for the next year. You know what I mean? In a matter of like 4 weeks. So it was really stressful and really pressure driven, but it makes this record that much special, you know?
In the recipe of the sound of this album, is there one ingredient that you feel is perhaps the one that defines the DNA of the band?
I would have to say it would have to be the deathcore influence of the band. Um, like how you mentioned inside your review, there's like that red line that connects all the songs. And I would definitely say that is the deathcore influences to all of us. Um, because like we really wanted to show the different perspective of what deathcore can be. You know what I mean? Everybody has been kind of leaning more towards a subgenre of deathcore and it being known as deathcore. So we wanted to try to like show the different perspective that there's more to the genre than just the subgenre of the genre. You know what I mean? The subgenre of the subgenre. You know what I mean? So that's whenever we started pulling in influences from stuff from our childhood, stuff from just like our personal, like everybody's little flavors there in some sort of way. Like I'm a huge sucker for like industrial electronical music, and I was really encouraging everybody to kind of put that stuff in there. The fact that you shouted out "Pray for Death," dude, that's my shit. That's like one of my favorite songs, dude.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites as well. I really love how textured it is. I mean, it feels simple to the ear to absorb it all, but you could tell underneath the surface is not a simple song at all, and it has all of these different elements in it that give it so much character.
Dude, honestly, that song is so ass kicking to play. Like you just feel like a fucking warlord, dude. 'Cause we're
I'm assuming, based on your words, is going to be part of the set list.
it is. We are literally starting our set list with Pray for Death.
All right, what a way to get started. I mean,
That's what I'm saying,
what
dude.
you cannot you're not giving people a chance to just kind of walk into the pit. You're just like you're laying bodies down immediately.
Yes, that's the plan. Because dude, I'm really excited to play Pray for Death at Summer Breeze because I had a picture of Summer Breeze open air 2022 photo on my vision board for whenever I was writing, and I was imagining that I'd be playing this song to 10,000 plus people, and I am very very eager to bring that like vision of mine and this idea of mine to life, because like whenever I was writing this song, I was like, what the fuck would I want to scream to 10,000 fucking people? And I'm like, pray for death, motherfucker.
You know what I'm going to do. I know a lot of folks that work at Summer Breeze. I'm going to send them this clip, and I hope somebody records it because I want to see that pit at Summer Breeze when this song goes on.
Dude, I hope so too, because you know that big fucking break before the fucking that fucking machine gun shit. Fucking, I'm gonna try to get the biggest wall of death Summer Breeze has ever seen.
I think it's achievable, considering the firepower, not the horsepower, the firepower that this song has. I think it's totally achievable, and I think it's really important what you guys are doing with the genre. And I mentioned a little bit of this in my review, but I really have to ask you. A lot of people feel like deathcore is very static in terms of what it can offer and in terms of what you can do with it. I felt with this record, you guys proved that the genre is very elastic, and you can push it and really stretch it out in order to create something really different with it. Do you want the genre to move in that direction, and are you guys willing to take that mantle of pushing the genre into that direction?
I would love to keep pushing the genre as much as we can. Personally, uh, this genre has saved my life, and if I could do whatever I can to help it evolve so it becomes more prominent in our world, then I will do whatever I can. Um, Personally, I can agree with you on that. Where deathcore has become really static in a way where it's just like a lot of I don't want to say mimicking, but it's a lot of the same. People are driving a lot of the same influences from the same places, and it just becomes a little bit like stagnant or oversaturated in a way. Where deathcore as a whole, um, there's so much more than what a lot of people are doing, and you could tell that they got into the genre like after a large building point was built. You know what I mean? The early 2000s to the 2010 eras of deathcore is a huge foundation point for the genre. And there's a lot of things that like influentially people are missing on just because they're so fascinated with what's going on now.
Is it challenging or perhaps even difficult for you guys to be a band that is pushing that envelope, is trying to push the genre forward? Because as much as you try to push it forward, there's always those guys that want to keep things the way they were before and the way they've been.
See, that's like a tough cookie to handle, you know what I mean? Because there's going to be some people that believe that like punk rock music, like I'm not saying punk rock is bad, you know what I mean, but that there's not any room for it to grow in any shape or form. Like the level of production that the world has to offer nowadays, I feel like that, yeah, it takes away from like the the feeling of that, but there's so much stellar equipment nowadays that you could still achieve that signature sound but bring a new wave to it. You know what I mean? There's more to making something evolve than just change. You know what I mean? Like there are different platforms that you can like take steps up onto where it's like, oh, I want to try to see what better production is going to sound like. Or I want to just not use any orchestral things, and I just want to be relentless the whole time, no synths or nothing. Like there's so many different ways that like the genre has grown, and platforms that it's taken to climb its way up to get where it is today. You know what I mean?
One of the great things about this record, and I mentioned that, is that I see a lot of bands within the genre, like you said earlier, pulling influences, but they're pulling influences from other bands within the genre, and they're almost pulling influences based on what's working for others, hoping that it works for them. You guys didn't take that approach at all. You guys is like, fuck it. If anybody's going to copy anybody, anybody's going to copy us.
Yeah, that's kind of what we wanted. We wanted to stick out. We started noticing like there was a trend of things going on, and like we literally had a list of like things that we're not going to have in the record. Like we weren't allowed to write anything in the minor key as a main frontal piece. We weren't using any orchestral elements or VSTs or anything like that. Um, if we did, it was very minimal, like maybe a violin fucking like where I was actually like physically playing it and making like horror film noises with it, but there were never like pianos and stuff like we usually had in previous records. We feel like that a lot of that stuff's just being showcased, and we want to stick out. This is our first record with Century Media. We wanted this to shine, you know, and like us taking that gamble and kind of taking a different approach has given us a good bit of success so far. I'm just really eager to see what happens whenever this monster is just unleashed, and just
I think this is a statement piece for you guys, and if you have to compare it with a record, I really hope this becomes your black album, if you know what I mean.
mm-hmm.
Because I think the right ingredients are there for this album to really stand out and the sea of other records from other bands within the genre that are coming out this year. This is an outstanding album because it's one of those records that has great shelf life. It doesn't matter if you're listening today, tomorrow, 3 months from now, if you're listening to for the 100th time, you're always going to find something that you didn't notice before.
Dude, I gotta say that literally I created the fucking thing. And there are moments where I'm listening to it and I'm like, yo, I forgot about that shit. You know what I mean? Like that was a very major key point where like we wanted to add certain textures to where it could keep hooking people back in. And we tried to be conscious of that to like, so whenever you're listening to this song, there's so much shit going on that your ear catches the first level. Then whenever on your second listen you're listening and you already have your mind wrapped around that first level, now you're grabbing that second layer that's there and you're like, holy shit, I never noticed that. And then next time you play around, the drums might be a little bit more prominent, you know what I mean? And then you start noticing the crazy fills instead of all the chaos that's going on. It was very conscious of like, we were like, we want to have some crazy shit going on here. So whenever this releases at this point, it's a real hooker and they're just stuck in it for the last third of the song, you know?
I also felt like I listened to the album in different ways, like on in my car, driving, headphones, and depending on where I was
What
listening.
was your favorite? Just curious.
I think with the headphones, I was able for first experience, the car was good
Yeah.
because the car gave me that war vibe, that relentless machine gun feel that really jumps into the forefront and
Mm-hmm.
hooks you. That heaviness hooks you. But then once you're able to listen to it on the headphones, then you're able to see all the different layers that it has. And it was really interesting for me because I was listening to it as I'm taking notes for my review, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't notice this before. So now I have to listen to this song all over again because I'm feeling like I'm missing something. And then as I'm listening to it again, it's like, okay, now I catch that, but now I felt like I missed something else again. It was really like a mind fuck of an experience because you always feel like you're missing something every time you're listening to it. So it was really intriguing from that point of view.
Dude, hell yeah. Personally, my favorite is headphones. I have a dream of trying to get a Dolby Atmos mix for this record. I am trying my fucking damnedest, dude. I really want to get that full immersive, like, just, you know what I mean, dude? Like, I don't know what it is about it. I just, it gets me like, just like all fucking excited whenever
It's a
I
more
know that
complete
there's an act.
experience.
I
It's a more
know.
complete experience. I enjoy that first listening experience to be in the car because it was like, okay, time to put the windows down and just fucking like rev the motor and let's fucking go. But once you get over that hump, then you're like, okay, now I need to just really like get deep into the record. No better way than with good headphones.
Right. My favorite is to just put on the record and forget that I made it and kind of just
Just
draw,
enjoy.
dude. Yeah, like, dude, there's so many times like where I'll just be listening to it. I'm like, yo, this is my fucking band. You know what I mean? Like,
I
it's
did
a,
this. I
it's
did this.
very, yeah, it's a very surreal feeling, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very proud of this. Very, me and my guys, we really stuck it together. Um, we fought through all that pressure and we really made something special here.
So I feel like Matt Heafy is becoming a little bit of the T-Pain of heavy metal. He's featured on everybody's songs. So how
That's
did
so
you?
funny that that's your way of putting it.
And I don't mean that with any disrespect whatsoever. Like I see the guy doing a lot of features these days. But how did you guys swing that? Did you have some compromising pictures of him or something?
Dude, he hit us up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like we were in the studio and our manager calls us and he's like, dude, you're never gonna believe what the fuck just happened. And then we're just like, what? And he's just like, Matt Heafy hit us up and asked if we would like to have him on the record. We've met in the past. We were on tour with him for an autopsy. He was a very fantastic guy. He brought everybody on the tour package barbecue. Fantastic. Great experience. So like we were just like kind of baffled at first, you know what I mean? Because we were like, Matt Heafy wants to do a feature with us. What the fuck? You know what I mean? And like we were just like, we got to do it. You know, like every single one of us loves Trivium. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, like he hits us up and he's like, yeah, if you guys would like to have me on the record, I'd love to do it. Literally, we started grinding that day. Um, and I think it's really cool because it's like a fictional, like the song that he's on is kind of a fictional story. Well, it's a concept of my eye disease that I've been diagnosed with. I am currently seeing an eye specialist to kind of target what's going on. I have some fatty tissues growing in the back of my retinas, and it's kind of messing with my central vision. And I made a song where a witch is growing a garden of stars in my eyes, and that's where like the songs
Wow,
about and
man.
everything. And Matt being a part of that is just really cool. If just for me, um, it's like a real personal thing about me that I really want to, like, you know what I mean? And him being like, yeah, I want to do that song. I was like, yo, that's so fucking cool, dude. You know what I mean? And he turned it around so fast too. Like we got the demo done and we were like, yeah, we were thinking about you going in this spot and you'd be ripping the chorus with me and everything. And then next thing you know, like 15 minutes later, we get the fucking email and it's done. And we're just like, holy shit, dude, you're an animal.
He doesn't fuck around, I guess. He just wanted to get.
No, dude. He was like,
And it's
knock
not like he
that
doesn't
out.
have a busy schedule, so that's
Dude,
impressive.
I don't know how the fuck he does it. I have no idea. No idea. Hats off to you, buddy.
I have no idea either. I mean, the guy's doing all sorts of shit. Like he's a DJ on the liquid metal. You know, he's streaming, has the band. I mean, you name it. You name it. The guy's he's got his hands on a lot of things. He's maybe the T-Pain was not a good one. Maybe he's the octopus of metal. Like he's just got his tentacles everywhere.
Dude, I'm literally gonna draw a cartoon of that and send that to him just because I gotta bring that to life. It's just gonna be Matt's head with octopus arms
you
everywhere.
have to make it happen, and please tag me because I need to see that shit. Like
I got you. I got you.
how was this album for you vocally when it came to the vocal performance? Did you have certain ideas, certain goals in mind that you wanted to deliver?
Yes, I did. I wanted to create more moments. I wanted the songs to feel more like songs and just not me just literally just going as hard as I can start to finish. Um, Reflecting on my previous work, I feel like that it was a lot of just like go, 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 go. And there was a lot of room for the songs to be able to breathe looking back. And also give me some time to breathe. You know what I mean? But like I definitely wanted to make it more impactful, but to let the songs be able to be songs. That was the main key point that we all wanted to do with this record that we felt like the band lacked. We had great moments, we had great songs, you know what I mean, but it didn't feel like it was a song. You know what I mean? Like something you'd want to sing along to, unless you know how to do crazy vocals and you want to do some show offy shit. You know what I mean? This record, I feel like it's more catchy. I really wanted to dive into the catchy side of things. I want to start getting that like almost like a hardcore show energy where people are like running on stage to get the mic. I want that so bad. Like we played Dallas, Texas, and we had that moment whenever we played the Whitechapel tour, and people were screaming the Amongst the Lone Empty stuff and stage diving, and just it looked like a turnstile show, dude. And like I wanted to, I definitely me seeing that come to life. I can't wait for more of the songs to come out and us play the other catchy songs of the record where it has the kind of the same energy but a different lane. Like Borrowed Time, for example. That song is kind of like the same vein of Amongst the Low and Empty, but Borrowed Time, it's like it rides its own different wave in the same lane. It's that pulsing energy, but it's a different taste of it. It's a different perspective. And that's where like there's that little line that we were talking about, you know what I mean? That deathcore vein stays in the main artery of every song, but the webbing of everything else really just stretches out and just touches to everything that we truly love.
Is your growth as a the last question for you is your growth as a vocalist tied into the growth of the band? Meaning, it's like the chicken and the egg. Which one you think drives the other? Does the growth of the band drive your growth as a vocalist, or your growth as a vocalist drives the growth of the band?
I'd have to say that neither. I'd say the growth of us being artists is the driving point of our band. Whenever we are talking about the concepts of the songs, and this is like months of planning, and like I'm like coming up with these psycho ideas and I'm giving them to my guys, and I'm like, does this sound cool? You know what I mean? Like, does this sound like relatable? Is this a cool concept? Is you know what I mean? Like, I feel like as our artistic nature grows and we become more intelligent, more toned in or tuned in with like our craft, that's the driving point. Because like right now we're just releasing Amongst the Low and Empty, and we're already working on our next record. We're already putting those ideas together, and it's because we're so inspired right now as artists that we're like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like because like as the band's growing, it's a good like kick in the ass to like get your shit together. You know what I mean? Like it's like, yo, you got to get writing. You got to get writing. You know what I mean? But that pressure that kind of sits with you is intimidating. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting there, your band's growing, and then it's like, oh, your record's doing great, and it's like, okay, well, what you gonna follow that up with, bud? You know what I mean? And like that's it's very intimidating. You know what I mean? And that's where I say like I don't want to say like my vocals are what drives me, because there's more to it than just that. There's the vision, the emotion, the just everything compound into the one thing that ends up being just labeled as the vocals. You know what I mean? Or like the lane of like the band driving it. Like honestly, dude, the band's been driving my entire life, pushing me to be a better man and to just constantly be a better person as a whole. I feel like that there's always room for growth as a person. You know what I mean? And like each lane kind of has its own thing. You
Excellent.
know what I mean? That's a really hard question, and I appreciate that one.
David, thank you very much for your time, man. This was a blast. Let's do this again when you guys are in town. I'll hit you
Oh,
up.
absolutely.
let's do this again in person. Let's talk more about the record, because by then we'll have a feel of how these songs have been working out live for you guys by the time you guys hit Toronto. So let's do this chat again when you're in my hometown. I'll hit you up. We'll meet up. We'll do something. All right.
Sounds fantastic, dude.
All right, man. Have a great day.
You too, man. Thanks for having me.
See ya.